Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christ the royal master leads against the foe. Forward into battle, see his banners go. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Oh, for a faith that will not shrink, though pressed by every foe, that will not tremble on the brink of any earthly woe, that will. Come, let us grow in the grace and knowledge of Him who saves us by His blood. Let us put down roots to deep water. Let us drink from the fountain of life. And we shall be like trees planted by the waters, planted by rivers wide and deep. Trees green and fruitful, bearing fruit of love in the vineyard of the King. Come, let us grow in the grace and knowledge of God's Spirit by which we're sealed, studying the riches of His word. Let us eat of the bread that He gives, and we shall be like trees planted by the waters, planted by rivers wide and deep. Trees green and fruitful, bearing fruit of love in the vineyard of the King. Come, let us grow in the grace and knowledge of He who calls us by His Son. Let us gather now at His table. Let us feast on the richest of food. And we shall be like trees planted by the waters, planted by rivers wide and deep. Trees green and fruitful, bearing fruit of love in the vineyard of the King.
Good morning. Let's edify one another, shall we? It is indeed a beautiful morning out as I try to do some tech stuff here. Isn't tech wonderful? Sometimes. Interesting because Grandma's is doing the same thing. I'll restart the tablet anyway. Is Facebook being down? Checking something. Be right back. Don't give me that at the moment. I'm busy. There's two people here, but how am I logged into Facebook through StreamYard and not? Yeah, Maureen, it looks like more than it looks like a lot of Facebook must be down all over the place. Um, because my mom just messaged me on Telegram saying that she's having the same problem. I can't do it on any of mine here at the house that I know of. Alicia, bring me my laptop. Yeah, because I was tabbed out, Maureen. There in the office on the desk. On the, yeah, there's an outage. I'm looking at the news right now. It says that there's Meta, Facebook, and Instagram are down. Worldwide outage leaves users unable to access accounts. According to Daily Mail, WFLA says also says they're down. Um, it's not letting anybody in, Heather. Nobody. According to what I'm looking at on the news. So, okay. So it looks like we're going to be available only. Well, maybe. Alicia shows that perhaps we can be into Facebook now. I don't know. Yeah. Well, if Facebook's down, everybody else is out of their luck too. So it might be a real short show today, there, CJ. You've always been wanting me to do a short one. Hey, Sam. And for those of you who are keeping track, Amy did make it home. They kicked her out last night. Um, so she did make it home last night, about midnight. Her and her cold hands finally made it. Anybody else having trouble hearing me? Her and her cold hands finally made it to the bed. She's laughing over there, thinking that's funny. I didn't think it's funny about midnight 20 when she reaches over and grabs the blankets and pillows and everything that she'd left on my side of the bed that I had scooted over onto her side, and she ended up grabbing, or rather placing her cold hands on my arm. No, she went to the ER yesterday, Heather, and she was dehydrated, like I told her. She was low on potassium, like I told her. What in the world? Facebook. Not Facebook. My phone is wanting. I'm streaming here, people. Keep it live. Keep it open. No. Da, da, da. Anyway, she's low on potassium, like I told her. She was not drinking enough fluids, obviously, like I told her. Anyhow, so they told her to drink more fluids. They gave her an IV of fluids. They gave her an IV of potassium, and they did blood work. Took X-ray of her chest because she was having some chest pain, which is normal when she's low of potassium, and didn't find anything there. She then they took a X-ray of her CAT scan of her abdomen because she was having some cramps or whatever, pain in her abdomen, and found that she does have a mass. And we'll just leave it in the abdomen area. We are to follow up. They said it's likely benign, but they want us to follow up with our primary as soon as possible. So we called this morning and got us an appointment for tomorrow. So so it was a long night. Yes, Sam, this is devotion. Yes, Sam, Facebook is not working. It is not working worldwide. No one's able to get into Facebook. And my phone is being a complete nincompoop, probably like its owner. Now, well, supposedly, um, Alicia was able to say something on Facebook, but there won't be any comments on Facebook. Alicia, let's see. No, I'm going to have to send a text to. I have to send a text to Sister T. Hang on a minute. Um, so I'm going to finish this row on my knitting. Oh, and Heather, I have to show you this. I showed everybody last night on reading. By the way, we've been missing you, Sister Heather. I know you're really busy. I don't blame you. I just want to let you know that you are being missed. One moment, I will send a text to Sister T to let her know to come over to YouTube. There. So, this is my new yarn right now. Oshea handed it to me yesterday, or a couple of days ago, Sunday at work at Walmart. I couldn't resist. I had to get it. Look how soft that is. Look how thick that is. I said I didn't say you insisted. I said you handed it to me, and I couldn't resist. Yeah. Don't reply when you're blowing your nose. Okay, I'll explain it to you too. Facebook is down worldwide. Nobody can get in. Worldwide. I'm trying every few minutes, but it's still down. Yes, it is. It's actually chenille. Chenille. Thankfully, it's not Dacra, but it is so soft. I'm gonna see if I can't make. I was gonna try a scarf, but that is so thick. I'm not sure a scarf would be really good. I am so thankful that you are that type of busy, Heather. We will continue to pray for those efforts. Um, since you missed it, I will mention that please keep Rick Lemery and family in prayers that his wife passed away yesterday. That's Don's brother and family. My phone just suddenly started shutting down, even though, or shutting off the screen, even though it's not supposed to. Why is this happening? Time to head for settings. I should try Rumble as well. You're welcome, Heather. Yeah, YouTube or Let's Read usually is interesting, CJ. It's fun. It's encouraging. I need to. I mean, CEM isn't on Rumble, and we should probably consider going there. In addition to here, it would be one that we would have to. It's some coding. I think we might have to add. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Maybe so, Heather. Uh, Teresa, I'm looking and I'm trying to find the settings because this app should not be. My phone should not be closing down. Uh, should not be shutting off while I'm streaming, and it is. And Rumble is similar to YouTube. Alrighty. They have on the packaging for the yarn, they have a free recipe, free pattern for this throw, and he uses 24 skeins of this yarn. I'm like, wow. But let's go ahead. Since we can't do tagging, at least you'll have to add that back later. Let's see if I can get into Facebook yet. Nope. So I'm going to put the timer up on the tablet. Yay! Wherever my clock is. We're doing lesson 139 in the iGrow Daily Devotion. You're welcome, CJ. In the iGrow Daily Devotion, a book written by Philip Johnson, produced by Focus Press. We're going to put 1 minute on the clock, and we're going to meditate through in this minute upon the words of Psalm 96 and verse 4. Psalm 96 and verse 4. That is, if Alicia puts it up here. For great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. Let's meditate on that for this next minute. Great is our God. Great is our... What should I say? How great thou art. When the words and forest finds I wander, And hear the Lord sing sweetly in the tree. When I look down from the lofty mountain. Ooh, how fun. Let's put 4 minutes on the clock as we read Psalm 96 and 97. Psalms 96 and 7. Oh, sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord, all the earth. Sing to the Lord. Bless his name. Tell of his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous works among all the peoples. For great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the peoples are worthless idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Splendor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Ascribe to the Lord, O families of the peoples. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name, and bring an offering and come into his courts. Worship the Lord in the splendor of holiness. Tremble before him, all the earth. Say among the nations, the Lord reigns. Yes, the world is established. It shall never be moved. He will judge the peoples with equity. Let the heavens be glad, and let the earth rejoice. Let the sea roar and all that fills it. Let me back up, Alicia. Verse 11, please. Okay, verse 12. Let the field exult and everything in it. Then shall all the trees of the forest sing for joy. Before the Lord, for he comes to judge the earth. He will judge the world in righteousness and the peoples in his faithfulness. Psalm 97. CJ, I'll let you do that tomorrow. I have to take Amy to her doctor's appointment, so you can do some finish out John 10. The Lord reigns. Let the earth rejoice. Let the many coastlands be glad. Clouds and thick darkness are all around him. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne. Fire goes before him, and burns up his adversaries all around. His lightnings light up the world. The earth sees and trembles. The mountains melt like wax before the Lord of all the earth. The heavens proclaim his righteousness, and all the peoples see his glory. All worshippers of images are put to shame, who make their boast in worthless idols. Worship him, all you gods. Zion hears and is glad, and the daughters of Judah rejoice because of your judgments, O Lord. For you, O Lord, are most high over all the earth. You are exalted far above all gods. O you who love the Lord, hate evil. He preserves the lives of his saints. He delivers them from the hand of the wicked. Light is sown for the righteous, and joy for the upright in heart. Rejoice in the Lord, O you righteous, and give thanks to his holy name. That's interesting, CJ. You have a wrench besides your name. Nobody else does. I bet you that's because you're an admin, perhaps? I don't know. And your name is Blue, so that must be it. You're a moderator. Ooh, he feels the power. All right, let's put 4 minutes on the clock as we reflect on the answer to these four questions. Question number one: is, what is the most important lesson you learned about God from these two Psalms? We just settled that, Teresa. We're going to let CJ do that tomorrow. Most of the time, Alicia has the questions and stuff done by the time I get home, and she doesn't go back and watch the videos. So she doesn't realize, unless somebody tells her that there's a part two, or she's actually doing tech, she doesn't realize that there's a tech two or a part two. And so she has this ready. Um, wow. Look how thick that is. That's just 10 stitches. Whoops. Alicia Starr, Maureen's, and Teresa's. Question number 2. What lessons do we learn from Psalm 96 that should motivate us to tell others about God? Size 13, Maureen. Or Heather, I should say. Size 13. Which, by the way, is roughly the size of that strand. Question number 3. How should we as Christians feel about evil? Question number 4. How do you feel about the coming judgment day? There's a great day coming, a great day coming, there's a great day coming by and by. As I said, have fun. Don't forget to star Sam's comment there, Alicia. Question number 1 was, where is my drink? That was the question. I thought sure I came in here with it. The whole reason that I was down in, or that I was in the um, crafting section down in Walmart Sunday was because I needed a new pair of number 8 needles. One of mine had ran off. I'm still missing my drink. Hint, hint. And I ended up getting 4 skeins of yarn, a new pair of needles, and a new set of crochet hooks. Thank you. Okay, so what is the most important lesson you learned from God, or learned about God from these 2 Psalms? And we begin by that also, Sam, is a question. We begin our answers begin with, I think, Maureen's, wasn't it? Answer number 1, please, Alicia, for number 1. Oh. Maureen says to hold him in reverence, be joyous, and to tell others. Do, 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 do. Oh, now you come up. One moment, guys. I will be right back. Well, let's see. Teresa says to rejoice in the Lord. You must not be receiving text messages either. And what's next, Alicia? Sam says he is the only true God who is mighty, and he is God who made this world. And Heather says, verse 13 of Psalm 96, God will judge us by his word. Before the Lord, for he comes to judge the earth. He will judge the world in righteousness and the peoples in his faithfulness. Um, it doesn't really say that he will judge it by his word. Rather, he will judge in righteousness. He will judge the world and in righteousness and in his faithfulness. Um, there's another aspect of the judgment that we can look at as well. And I'm leaning over here because I've got my eSword, up on my tablet or on my laptop, so I can um, bring mine thoughts to share. With Sister T's thoughts about declaring, or was it Sister T's? Maybe it was. No, you're in twos already. Maybe it was Heather or Maureen's. It was Maureen's. Be joyous here, hold him in reverence. Be joyous and tell others. 96 verse 3, we are to declare his glory among the heathen, his wonders among all the people. Um, verse 4, he is to be feared above all gods. That means he's to be reverenced above everything else. He is preeminent. Uh, verse 9, 96 verse 9, I worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Fear before him all the earth. Again, reverence. Um, right? I can understand that. Um, because what is righteousness? Well, his word is righteousness. Absolutely. Um, I want to, I'll bring out a couple more points with yours as well when I get down there. Let's see here. See, among the heathen, the Lord reigneth. There's again is the publishing, the telling people. Verse 10. Alicia, there you go. Um, Verse 12, or actually, let's see here. Verse 11, verse 12, all talk about how the heavens are to rejoice, earth is to be glad, the field is to be joyful, everything that is therein. The trees are to rejoice, and essentially the entire earth is to be joyful. If we move to to chapter 97 or to Psalm 97, rejoicing is commanded in verse 1. And in verse 12. So in verse 1, it kind of book frames, or bookends rather, the psalm in Psalm 97. Verse 1, all the earth is to rejoice. In verse 12, all the righteous are to rejoice. So, indeed, Maureen's got a really good basis there for her comments going in. That is very important. It is so important that it's it's repeated to um, as if out of joy, but also out of a desire to instill this into the minds of the hearers. God is worthy of reverence. God is worthy of praise. Um, God is worthy, and He is above all. Everyone is to rejoice and to be joyful because of because of who God is and what He does. And we are to tell others of all that God has done. So she's really got some good, important points there. Lucy, can you switch to back to Sister T's? I'm going to try to log back into Facebook for a minute. Well, it probably isn't going to let me, at least not through there. Well, I've gotten to the point of where I can, supposed to be able to enter a login code, but um, When I do so, it is not. Let's shut that down. No, sis, you don't know. Okay, so it's still doing that. All right. So Sister T says, "Rejoice in the Lord." Well, we've already covered rejoicing in the Lord. What's the next one? Is there really anything truly else to be? I mean, to rejoice in? We know that all good gifts and every perfect gift comes down from the Father of lights above, according to James chapter 1. So everything that we have really comes from God. Is there really much else to rejoice in? Because even when we take joy in, say, the day, we know it comes from God, and so we're rejoicing in God and in His might and His power. When we rejoice in our health, well, again, it's because we exist because of God. We have health because of God. We're able to bear up because of God. We're able to do what we can do because of God. What about Sam's, Alicia? Did you forget Sam's? So no matter what we're doing, as we rejoice, it's because of God. Sam says he is the only true God who is mighty, and he is the God who made the world. That goes to say what along with what we were just talking about, rejoicing. But the psalmist here in 96 spends a lot of time um, detailing that out. That God is the one who created heavens. Uh, it's more than that. It's more than just saying, okay, well, this is, God is our creator. The psalmist goes to great lengths here to show that it is God alone who is God. He is the only God, and there is no other. Everything else that man thinks is it could be a god or man has set up as a god is nothing. Um, as we look through Psalm 96, if it takes our focus off of God um, and living for Him, it isn't worth anything. It is it is a false god. Show forth his salvation from day to day, 96 verse 2. Declare his glory, his wonders. And then from verse 4 and on, he talks about how great God is. God, the Lord is great, greatly to be praised. He feared above all, reverenced above all gods. All the gods of the nations are idols. They're empty, they're vain, they're nothing. They're made up. But the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Give unto the Lord, O ye kindreds of the people, give unto the Lord glory and strength. That is, acknowledge his strength and his glory. Give unto him what is due. That is the glory. Give the praise. Bring that offering. That offering of praise. Bring that offering of what is his. And since everything we have is his, well, bring it to him. And we know that God, what he desires is not this physical, physical goods that we have. Rather, he desires a sincere heart, one that seeks to follow him and his will. Look at verse 10, please, Alicia. 96. The Lord reigns. Yes, the world is established. It shall never be moved. He will judge the people with equity. Anybody know what equity means? Sam guesses that it means equal. Nope. And yes. Teresa says ownership. Nope. And perhaps yes. According to Merriam-Webster's definition of equity, it is justice according to natural law or right. It is, skipping the aspect of money, it is a system of law originating in the English Chancery. Oh, wait, excuse me. Forget the system of law. Justice according to natural law or right, specifically freedom from bias or favoritism. So when he's going to judge somebody with equity or judge us with equity, he's not going to be biased. Yet he is judged because it is his right as creator. Listen to verse 10 again. Say among the nations, the Lord reigns. What right does the Lord have to judge? Well, he reigns. Yes, the world is established. Well, who established it? The Lord, the one who made it. It shall never be moved. He will judge the peoples with equity. He has, as creator, the natural right to judge, and he chooses to judge without bias or favoritism. King James renders that as righteously, by the way. He is the only God. He created the heavens and the earth and all that are in them. And he, because he reigns, because he created them, because he set the laws, he reigns, and he reigns righteously, without bias, without favoritism. He reigns, he rules, he judges with equity. Heather said, in verse 13, that God will judge us by his word. What is really interesting about this passage in verse 13 is that God comes to judge the earth. He will judge the earth with righteousness and the people with his truth. Verse 13, please, Alicia. What is interesting about it is the way that the ESV changed truth into faithfulness. So the KJV says with his truth, which is where we can say, like with Heather, that it's with according to his word, and changed it to in his faithfulness. What does the American Standard say? '13, please. With his truth. So they really had to change that. Take me to the KJV plus. Wait a minute. Is that the ASV right there that you're in? Oh, I asked you what the ASV said. Fairness. That's not the. Is that the ASV? That looks like the NIV. Or CJ says fairness. I don't know if he's just now joining in and is coming in trying to answer the question of equity or what. Okay. KJV plus, please. We're going to get down to the bottom of this one. The word for H530 is imuna. Very last word there on the thing. Let's see. H530. It's imuna. Firmness, fidelity, steadfastness, or steadiness. Strong says that it is firmness, security, moral fidelity, faithfulness, faithfulman, set office, stability, steady, truly, truth, and verily. It's quite a wide range. What is faithfulness? What is righteousness? What is truth? Well, that is God. God is the very definition of all of those. His word is the very definition of all of those. So we can agree with Heather that God will indeed judge the world with his word. And of course, that is borne out by passages in the New Testament. However, there's the things to note in this passage. Let's go ahead and go back to KJV or ESV or ASV, whichever. Um, Sean, not doing okay? He must be busy. So before what we want to notice here is that the standard by which he's going to judge. He's going to judge the world in righteousness or by righteousness. He's going to judge the world in equity, that is fairness. He's going to judge it unbiased without favoritism because of his natural right to judge the world. As creator, he has that right. And there's no one can say a word against that. Tell Sean I've got a spare one he can have. Dude, look at that. That is, even with a 13 needle, that is so tight and so thick, it is going to make one awesome throw. This is just 10 stitches. I'm going to actually do I'm going to do this in a vertical stripe pattern. I'm going to get some more yarn like this, different colors. But back on task. Come on, Levi. He's going to judge the world by the standard of righteousness. He's going to judge the world by the standard of faithfulness. He's going to judge the world by the standard of truth. Not once, not in any way will those standards change. You don't change what is right just because a person determines something. I mean, it doesn't change just because someone wakes up on a different side of the bed. What is faithful? It doesn't. The definition doesn't change just because someone decides to walk outside without an umbrella. These standards are immutable because they are based within that, or they are defined by the one who doesn't change. And I think that's a very important point to bring out that that standard does not change, and that should bring us some comfort as well as some fear. If the standard doesn't change, then it is the person who is being judged that is the one who does change. And the problem that we run into the most often is that in our day to day life, the one who does the changing um, and the one who does the judging in our day to day life often change. So, if, for example, we go and stand before the judge for, let's say, a speeding ticket, the judge, rather than being an impartial judge and applying the same rule to everyone, will apply the rule or grant exceptions to individuals on a case by case basis. God doesn't do that. God looks at all of us the same way. And there really is only one question which he asks, um, are you covered in the blood? Of course, he doesn't have to ask it. He knows it already. But you get my point. Question number 2, what lessons do we learn from Psalm 96 that should motivate us to tell others about God? I think we just mentioned one of them. Hello, tech person. Wake up. We have moved now on to question 2. Well, you go outside without an umbrella, Sam, but does that change the standard of truth, righteousness, or faithfulness? I have Teresa singing. Sing me a song about Jesus. Sing me a song about his love. And it doesn't change, does it, Sam? Just because you decide to go out on a rainy day without an umbrella does not change that standard, does it? Now, question number 2 was what lesson do we learn from Psalm 96 that should motivate us to tell others about God? So Teresa says, verse 9. I think she said another one right after that, didn't she? Said, I apologize. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, so it is 96, verse 9. Oh, I see. She added the chapter on it. Okay, so worship the Lord in the splendor of holiness. Tremble before him, all the earth. Man, this thing would be a heavy shawl. I'll tell you that. What should we? What lesson does this teach us that should motivate us? God is deserving of our worship in holiness. When we worship God, we are to worship him in holiness. And the entire earth is to tremble before him. Well, how is the earth going to tremble before him if the earth, i.e., all the men on it, all the people on it, don't know about God? Romans chapter 10. Answer number 2. Sam says he is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and might. Our God is an awesome God. So that would be verse 6, I believe. Splendor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Ascribe the Lord, O families of the peoples. Ascribe the Lord glory and I think that's honor. Strength. Glory and strength. Maureen says, it is written that we should and others are to that we should and others are serving idols. We go back to the very first couple of verses of Psalm 96 for that. First couple of verses of Psalm 96. I think it is actually 3 and 4. Sing to the earth, the Lord. Okay, yes. We are told to declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous works among the peoples. For great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods, verse 5, for all the gods of the peoples are worthless idols, but the Lord made the heavens. We are commanded or told that we are to tell others. That should be enough to motivate us. But everybody else is serving idols, and that should also motivate us. Heather says, Heather says, you might have to scroll down just a couple of lines there, Alicia, in the question and the answers. Heather says, God is the only God. He made the heavens and the earth and is worthy of all our praise. How about God is a fearsome God? Yeah, Sam. Um, 96:9. I worship the Lord in beauty of holiness, fear before Him all the earth, as Sister T said. Um, what about the fact that He's going to judge the people? Should that not motivate us to tell other people? You know, if we truly are fearing God, and He tells us to tell everybody of His wonders, and He then tells us that He is going to judge the peoples, and He judges fairly, what will He do to those who do not as He has commanded them to do? Yeah, no, Sam, I told you they had a global crash. I said that at the start. Hello, CJ. Let me see if I can get mine in. Be right back. Again. Well, I am in on my phone. Which should have just did that. Well, I'll do it in a bit. All right. So Alicia's there tagging everybody. Okay. CJ's there tagging everybody. Yes. Hey, there we go. Okay, so God is the only God. Okay, so we were there. How should question number 3? How should we as Christians feel about evil? Abhor it, says Sam. Alicia, can you get into Facebook on the computer in there? Who's next? I just asked her to do something, and okay, there. I got that. Well, you go ahead and try to log into Facebook on the computer in there. Maureen says we should hate evil, keep away from it. Yeah, and we'll go to that in a minute. Teresa says we should hate it. Heather says, oh, we already did that one. Oh, did we already cover Heather's for number 2? Yes, we did. Already did that one, Alicia. Did you make it in? Good. All right, so you didn't have a 3. Yes, that's right. All right, so go to Psalm 97, Alicia. And verse 10. No, not 10. 12. No. Okay, maybe it isn't in. Maybe it's in 96. Come on, where'd my there it is. There it is. It is verse 10. Thank you, CJ. I don't know why my eyes totally skipped over it, but it did. Verse 10, Alicia. 97. How are we as Christians to feel about evil? Well, verse 10 says, "Oh, you who love the Lord, hate evil." Plain and simple. It's also borne up in 2 places in Paul's writings. In Romans chapter 12, and verse 9. Got that for me? Let love be genuine. Abhor what is evil. Cling. Hold fast to what is good. And First Thessalonians chapter 5. And verse 22. Yes, and most of us, we're already migrating over here, brother. Thank you for letting us know you're back. First Thessalonians 5 and verse 21 and 22. First Thessalonians chapter 5. It's in the New Testament after Romans, verses 21 and 22. No, dear, I said Thessalonians, not Corinthians. 21. Prove all things, test everything, hold fast what is good, abstain from every form of evil. I like the King James better on this one because it says to abstain from all appearance of evil. If it even looks evil, stay away from it. How do you feel, in question 4, about the coming judgment day? Alicia, question 4. Girl, we get into Facebook and you disappear on me. Come on, get back over here. How do you feel about the coming judgment day? Well, answer number 1. Maureen says, we want a wonderful new life to come. So she's expectant, excited. Teresa says, it's going to be a great day, but a sad one for most. There's a great day coming, a great day coming. Sam says, there's a great day coming by and by. Both looking forward to and yet nervous. God is so great. Amen. Heather says, I'm grateful to be a sheep, rather. I'd like more time to try to bring more to him before that day. And CJ says that he feels confident. And Alicia's trying to figure out where that is in her list. It isn't. And with that, we don't have time to do the next 4 questions. So, I'm an equal opportunity singer there, Sister T. Doesn't take much to set it off. We will pick this one up Thursday because CJ is going to do, unless he wants to do 2 parts, part 2 of 138 and part 2 of 139 tomorrow. So that's fine by me if that's what he wishes to do. Just to show you guys how much we did accomplish today so far. That's exactly how much I've knitted today. Begin with 138, CJ. John 10. So So, hopefully, prayerfully, we have been able to examine these two psalms. It does look kind of like it could be a first, doesn't it? It ain't going to be. Let's go to God in prayer. Our Father God in heaven, we thank you for this medium of communication, which we are able to make use of on a daily basis, both of YouTube and of Facebook. We thank you for the tools that you have placed at our disposal whereby we can tell others of your wonder, your glory, your magnificent deeds, your mighty hand. We thank you, Father, for the word that you have preserved for us, whereby we can read and take comfort. We can ponder and meditate upon that word and know for a surety that you are God. Know that you do exist and know of all that you have done for us. We thank you for the salvation that comes from your hand. We thank you for each and every one that is here, willing to take time out of their busy schedules to spend devoting time to you together. And may each one's lives be enriched through this time. May they be drawn closer to you and strengthened to meet the challenges of this day. We ask, Father, that you would guide our hearts and minds as we strive to walk along your path that leads home to you. And may we do those deeds that are righteous and holy, thinking and speaking on things that are right and noble, true and pure, just, lovely, and of good report, that are praiseworthy and acceptable in your sight. May we be your children in all ways this day, and that we may be judged in accordance with your word by your standards to have been faithful to you all the days of our lives. Forgive us in those areas that we stumble and are striving to overcome and improve and be more pleasing to you. This our prayer in Christ's name. Amen. Yes, it is, Maureen. I can't wait till I get finished with it. I like the shimmers. Melissa says it looks like a night sky. You all have a wonderful day. Make sure that as you walk, that you continue to see God and all his wonderful workings around you this day, because he's all around. And Oshea, yeah, CJ's going to have 3P prayer in about 5 minutes, roughly, as he frantically prepares himself. Um, so we hope to see you all there. Take care. Walk with the King this day, and as you walk, once you add to your faith, Devo, I'll see you then. God bless in your walk with him. Love y'all. Bye bye.